Hello, fifth graders. Today in writing, you are going to be writing what we call an adjective poem. So this will teach you how to do what we call adjective poetry. And really, there's not just one way to do it. An adjective poem, as you might imagine, will use a lot of adjectives. And in order to do this particular poem, we are going to be filling in the blanks using a mentor poem. So we're going to look at the poem called Beans, Beans, Beans. I have copied it here. And as you listen to this poem, I want you to focus on the beat, or in poetry, we call that the rhythm of this poem. It is called Beans, Beans, Beans. Beans, beans, beans. Baked beans, butter beans, big, fat lima beans, long, thin string beans, those are just a few. Green beans, black beans, big, fat kidney beans, red, hot chili beans, jumping beans too. Pea beans, pinto beans, don't forget shelly beans. Last of all, best of all, I like jelly beans. I hope that as I read that, you noticed I was emphasizing the rhythm of that poem. You want to have a handle on that rhythm so that you recreate that same sort of rhythm when you do your poem that will be about a different noun or topic than this one is. I'll read it one more time. Beans, beans, beans. Beans, beans, beans. Baked beans, butter beans, big fat lima beans, long thin string beans, those are just a few. Green beans, black beans, big fat kidney beans, red hot chili beans, jumping beans too. Pea beans, pinto beans, don't forget shelly beans, last of all, best of all, I like jelly beans. As you can see in the directions, I'm asking you to notice the rhythm, what we talked about, but also alliteration. Alliteration is when you use the very same beginning letter as here. We have baked beans, butter beans. When they put all four of these B words together, it kind of emphasizes them more than if they would be spread out throughout the whole poem. I hope you can see down below another point of alliteration. They group together pea beans, pinto beans, and by doing those in a partnership, it makes it kind of fun to read. Another thing I want you to notice is they saved their favorite type of bean for last. Here are some topic ideas for you to use when you are going to write your own poem. You do not have to select just from this list because maybe you have some others. This will just jog your memory and make you think of something else. You could do it shoes, shoes, shoes. You could do a poem about flowers, flowers, flowers. Chips, different kinds of chips. I'm thinking chocolate chips, potato chips, those kinds of things. Brothers or sisters, friends, books, ice cream, games, sports, dogs, teachers, whatever noun you pick. Make sure you can think of many, many different describing words for that noun. If you pick a noun and you start on a list of adjectives about that noun and you cannot think of any, go back and pick a different noun. It is not worth being frustrated about. And once you pick a noun, you're going to want to think about as many adjectives as possible, whether that's number, size, smell, taste, texture, age, weight, color, movement. Any of those things could describe your particular noun. When you're doing your pre-writing, I've asked that you would do that on a piece of paper. Your teacher does not need to see your piece of paper. You will not be taking a picture of it. But certainly writing down on a scrap piece of paper, being able to cross things out once you've used a particular adjective, circling adjectives that go together or sound fun when you say them, is way more helpful than trying to do your pre-writing and planning on a computer screen. In this poem, you have a template right here, okay? Your job is to fill in this template, and once you do, you will have your adjective poem. All of these highlighted blanks are where you will write your chosen noun. If you wanted to do sports, you would write sports, 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 sports. You get the idea all the way here. Once you do that, you just have a few blanks left where you have to do your adjectives. I have a paper started over here where I have transferred all of those instructions onto my planning paper. I want you to see my planning, and so I'm not following my instructions to do it on a piece of paper, although in all honesty, I have a piece of paper next to me that I did it on. And I transferred that thinking onto the screen so I could show you. I chose a topic, and that topic is cookies. Okay? Cookies is my topic. I'm going to turn it back to black. Once I've chosen cookies, and I know that that's going to be my topic, I'm going to do Command C to copy that word. And I'm going to go ahead in my template, and every time I see that highlighted blank, I'm going to click on it twice so it turns blue, and I will hit Command V, and cookies will appear. So I double click to make it blue, hit Command V to put my word cookies in. Double click to make it blue, Command V. And all the way through my poem, I'm going to go ahead and add, let's do that again. And I'm going to add the word cookies all the way through. Let's pretend that I've done that. What's left are all of the places that I need to fit adjectives about those cookies. So I will go up here, and you can see that I started to make, I have almost 30 adjectives written down. I asked my family members for suggestions. I thought of cookies that I liked, cookies that I saw in the store, different types and textures of cookies. And I have all of these up here, and now I get to play the fun part of trying to group some together. Looking for alliteration, maybe wanting M&M and Monster to be together. Maybe wanting, I've started to fill out my template, and now I need two types of cookies. When they're paired like this, I remember in the example poem that they used alliteration, two types that started with the same letter, or maybe opposites. So I could maybe say warm cookies, cold cookies. I have some opposites there. Now I need three adjectives that flow together. You want them to make sense. If you say tasty, gross, crispy cookies, something can't be tasty and gross, can it? So you want something that flows. Maybe I have fresh, crispy windmill cookies. I'll write that down. Can always change it later. Fresh, crispy, windmill cookies. Now I need another group, and I'm going to try not to use adjectives that I've already used. I want them to be different. How about I say old, crumbly, what kind? Old, crumbly, broken cookies. There. So far, my poem sounds like this. Cookies, cookies, cookies. Warm cookies, cold cookies. Fresh, crisp, windmill cookies. Old, crumbly, broken cookies. Those are just a few. Can you hear that rhythm? I'm getting it. I need to do a few more. So I need to put cookies in this blank, cookies in this blank, cookies, in the next blank, and so on, and piece together some more adjectives about those cookies. Once you are finished and you like the way it sounds, read it out loud. Whisper read it if you have to. Have somebody else read it and check for that rhythm and that flow. And if you're happy with it, then you will copy it and you will paste it as a final copy. I want to point out the very last line of the poem when it says, last of all, best of all, I like blank, and in my case, it's cookies. Even before I'm finished with my poem, I'm going to figure out what my favorite cookie is, and I'm choosing homemade. So I'm going to cross out homemade. That's the way I'm crossing it out on my screen so you can see. And I'm going to put homemade here so I'm not tempted to use that in a different spot. Remember, I want to use each adjective only one time. Once I have it completed and I copy and paste it down below, I'm going to move this down for you so you can see it all together. Here's my completed poem that I wrote and copied below. You can see that I took off all of the highlighting. I just copied the whole thing. I highlighted it all in blue, and over here I picked none, and it will take it all off for you. I capitalized my title. I capitalized the first word in every single line, and this is what my finished poem sounds like. Cookies, cookies, cookies. Crunchy cookies, chewy cookies, lumpy, bumpy M&M cookies, smooth, soft sugar cookies, those are just a few. Yucky cookies, yummy cookies, crisp, brown windmill cookies, fresh, warm chocolate cookies, Oreo cookies too. Yummy cookies, yucky cookies, don't forget Girl Scout cookies, last of all, best of all, I like homemade cookies. And then you'll put your name at the bottom. If you run stuck doing your poem, you may always replay parts of this video or reach out to your teacher. We'd love to help you. Happy poetry writing!